Hello, movie lovers. This is Does It Hold Up? Oscar Redux. Every week here on the channel, I pretend to go back in time to redo an Academy Awards from the past and give out the awards, well, some of the awards again, to who I think should have won. This is just my opinion, so let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree, or who you would have gave the award to. Normally, I'm joined by Emily as just the disembodied voice, and she will still be doing that role, reading all the categories, reading who was nominated, and telling us who the Academy picked. But she will also be joining us at the end of the show for 3 of the awards we're giving out: Best Animated, Best Director, and Best Picture. So can't wait for her to join us then. But as always, she's just the voice for now as she kicks us off with the year 2020. And our first category is
Actor in a Supporting Role. The nominees this year were Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood; Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes; Al Pacino, The Irishman; Joe Pesci, The Irishman; and Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The winner, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, so was Brad Pitt the best supporting performance of the year? There's a strong case for it, but there's also a strong case that this was the Academy finally just giving in and saying, hey Brad, maybe we should have gave it to you for one of your many other movies, but you finally did something that we liked, so here you go. And you know what? I can't fault the Academy for this one because Brad Pitt was also phenomenal in this role. So it kind of feels like a Lifetime Achievement Award Oscar, but at the same time, somewhat rightfully deserved as well because it wasn't just a phoned-in performance. This is literally maybe one of his best performances of his entire career, so I'd also keep it with Brad Pitt.
Actress in a Supporting Role. The nominees this year were Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell; Laura Dern, Marriage Story; Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit; Florence Pugh, Little Women; and Margot Robbie, Bombshell. The winner, Laura Dern, Marriage Story.
What the actual holy is going on here? How do you pick out of these? These 5 actresses are all phenomenal. They were all great in their movies. This is so difficult where it's like, how do you look at Laura Dern in Marriage Story and go, I have to take it away from you because I'm going to give it to somebody else? But then you look at those other people and you say, sorry, I can't give it to you because Laura Dern was so good in Marriage Story. They are all phenomenal. But I am going to make a change here. Not for any reason that I think Laura Dern didn't deserve this award, but I do think this other actress maybe deserved it the tiniest bit more. And that's Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, because I haven't seen ScarJo like that before, and she was amazing in that movie. I think every scene she was in. Jojo Rabbit is a very good movie with some very good performances. But at the end of everything, Scarlett Johansson coming in as the mother in those scenes, for me, hold the movie together. They give it more depth and more heart than it probably would have otherwise, and her performance is what really stands out. But you could make that case for any one of these women. So it's very hard to do, but I am taking it away from Laura Dern, although I love her, to give it to ScarJo.
Moving on to Writing Original. The nominees this year were Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. The winner, Parasite.
The winner, Knives Out. That is the correct choice here. That movie was so good, and the mystery was so great, and the characters were so well developed and so well established, and just everything about this movie really works, and the script is just fantastic. I mean, the idea of such a simple story, but having so many different layers to it that it really does keep you guessing the entire time, even though we all should have known who it was from the moment they showed up on screen, is the sign that the story is just written really, really well. And I think it deserved this award.
Writing Adapted. The nominees this year were The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and The Two Popes. The winner, Jojo Rabbit.
I think there's really only 2 options here with this award. It's either going to be given again to Jojo Rabbit by me, or I'm going to take it away and give it to Joker. I think that's the only 2 movies here that really have a chance at winning this award. That's no offense to the other 3 movies in the category. It's just these 2 are far and away better. And I'm struggling here because Joker is really good, but I'm not a fan of the movie, but that doesn't take away from how good I know it is. and how well written it was. So I'm struggling with that. I don't know. Is there enough there? I'm going to say no. I'm going to keep it with Jojo Rabbit because it's the story here with some work by Scarlett Johansson and the other performers in the movie that make this movie work. It's a silly story, yet it has so much emotional depth to it that when it gets to those harder moments, you don't even realize how emotionally connected you are because of how well it was told up to that point. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep it with Jojo Rabbit.
Actor in a leading role. The nominees this year were Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, and Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes. The winner, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker.
This was the right choice. I'm not a big fan of the Joker movie. I don't really like the portrayal that they did, but Joaquin Phoenix was phenomenal in this role. I would love to see him play an actual Joker and really get into that established character, because we all know this wasn't the Joker. This was just some guy, but it doesn't take away from how good Phoenix was in the movie and all the little nuances he did. So yeah, this is 100% deserved.
Actress in a leading role. The nominees this year were Cynthia Erivo, Harriet, Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan, Little Women, Charlize Theron, Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger, Judy. The winner, Renee Zellweger, Judy.
I mean, she's fantastic in Judy. I'm not going to take that away from her, but I am taking the award away from her because I'm giving it to Charlize Theron for Bombshell. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely watch the movie. It is so worth it. But she commands the screen every time she shows up. She makes sure that when she is talking, when she is present, this is the most important thing that could be happening to you, the audience member, at that time. She creates, I know it's based on a real person, but she creates this aura around them that just draws you in, and her performance is really beyond any of the other ones in this category. So Charlize Theron for Bombshell.
Best Animated Feature. The nominees this year were How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. The winner, Toy Story 4.
I love Toy Story 4. It is my favorite of the Toy Story movies. If you saw the episode where Toy Story 3 was nominated and I didn't give it the award because really it just comes down to that movie is one scene that everybody remembers and overall it just doesn't matter. Toy Story 4, on the other hand, is an incredible movie of a culmination of a bunch of stories that have been told over the last 30 years, but I'm still taking the award away as much as I love it because I'm giving it to Klaus, Netflix animated original movie. I don't like Christmas movies. I don't like holiday movies. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I watch this one every year since it came out because it is that damn good. The animation style is incredible. The story is heart-wrenching, tear-jerker, make you laugh out loud, make you sad, make you angry. It goes through the gamut of emotions while you're watching it because that's just what the movie does. Characters, everything. This movie is so good. It's one of the top 5 movies of the entire decade, the 2010s. And the fact that it didn't win the award to just go to another Disney Pixar film is kind of a travesty, and it should have been changed, and I'm changing it right now. But I'm not the only one who has a thought on this one. Emily is now joining us to give you what she thinks should be the best animated feature of the year.
No, I totally agree. Klaus was the best picture animated of the year. It is such a great Christmas movie, but beyond that, such a great movie, and the animation was beautiful. Hands down, Klaus.
Best Directing. The nominees this year were Bong Joon-ho, Parasite, Sam Mendes, 1917, Todd Phillips, Joker, Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The winner, Bong Joon-ho, Parasite.
Yeah. This is another hard category where you could give it to, I think, 3, maybe 4 different movies. The one person definitely not getting it is Martin Scorsese for The Irishman. Not that he didn't make a great movie and that he wasn't a great director, but no, not against these other four. Todd Phillips is fantastic behind Joker. I mean, he made a very compelling movie, but he was just borrowing from so many other movies that it's hard to be like, you did a great job as a director. You just mimicked other things. Same could be said here for Quentin Tarantino, although I do love late career Tarantino. I think he's doing some of his best work. So it really comes down to Bong Joon-ho for Parasite and Sam Mendes for 1917. The problem I have with 1917 is it's a very gimmicky movie. It's very much like, hey, this director did this whole movie in like one take and it's so cool. And hey, did you notice this wide shot and all this? It wasn't really about the movie and about what he did as a director outside of, well, he did something different than other directors. But do we award that, or do we award the actual ability that they put into the movie? So with that said, I'm going to keep it with Bong Joon-ho for Parasite because I think he did make such a phenomenal movie. And it's really down to what he did as a director. I'm not the only one who has thoughts, though, so let's go ahead and kick it over to Emily to find out which one she picked.
See, while I think Bong Joon-ho did a great job with Parasite, I am actually going to give it to Sam Mendes because even though it is somewhat of a gimmicky movie, I feel like it actually worked pretty well for this story. And I thought the directing overall was pretty good. So yeah, I give it to Sam Mendes.
And finally, Best Picture. The nominees this year were Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. The winner? Parasite.
This was a very hard year for the Academy. There are a lot of good nominations, and nothing really stood out as like the clear winner. I am going to keep it with Parasite. I do think the movie was phenomenally well made. Bong Joon-ho winning Best Director from the Academy and from me makes a lot of sense to then also give it Best Picture. It did a lot that I don't think the Western world really understood and kind of brought a whole new filmmaking style, and just the subtle messages and nuance to this movie are just so good that I'm glad it won Best Picture, and I'm going to keep it with it. And for the last time in this episode, we're going to go over to Emily because I know she doesn't agree.
I can understand why people love Parasite, and at the same time, I don't. I'm personally someone who did not care as much for Parasite, and I don't know if that's because of all the hype that was around it before I got to see it or whatnot. So I am going to take it away from Parasite, and I'm struggling on what movie I want to give it to, but my heart is screaming Jojo Rabbit because I thought it was a fun movie that played well on both the humor and the drama of that time, and just combined those to a really interesting and really well-made movie. So I'm actually going to give it to Jojo Rabbit.
All right, that's it for the show this week. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about my picks or Emily's picks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments below. And until I see you again, just remember to be good to yourself, kind to others, and keep watching movies.